Well, it's quarter time at the moment. Fantastic to see the fans get such great access. They can have a listen into what the coaches are saying, and the Port fans and also the Crows fans doing exactly that at quarter time. It is Port Adelaide leading 5 goals, 1-31 to the Crows 3-20. Those goal kickers there, Drew, he kicked the first couple for Port. Marshall, Rosie and Howard have singles, while for the Crows, they kicked the first 3 goals of the game. McAdam, McHenry and Murphy with actually the first goal of the match. So that's the way things look at quarter time. But boys, not a bad start. Sammy Jacobs and also Mark Bickley in commentary with me here today at Theberton Oval. Pretty entertaining start, and I'm sure both coaches with a lot of positives.
Yeah, I reckon, like Bick said, it was sort of a quarter of 2 halves as such. Obviously, our boys got on top early, but I think the one thing that I noticed is Port's ability to just get the ball and go. I think we need to make sure we get pressure on the ball and try and slow them down, because you see, you know, with Marshall and all these types up there who can, you know, big guys who can move, they've been really damaging. So that's probably the one thing for me at the moment. We just need to slow them down and play the game in our half a bit more.
And Biggs, for you, who were some of the players that you enjoyed watching and stood out for you perhaps on the week?
Well, for Port Adelaide, Drew had a really good start to the game, and as we've said, he was solid last week. Rosie looks really classy, but thought Jake Patmore as well in the front half of the ground had a couple of nice touches. But it is right, Asaurus, I feel like Port Adelaide are trying to move the ball. Also, for me, they just got at the opposition a bit better than what Adelaide did. There was once or twice, or at least once or twice, where it wasn't just one player tackling and allowing the Crows player to lift his arms up and distribute the ball. One guy would get him and another one came over the top to make sure they weren't able to move that ball on. So well, they did it pretty well. The centre square, look, I'm really interested to see the rest of this game, because there's been some real quick clearances out of there where it goes deep inside the forward 50, and that's a massive advantage. So I know it's one thing a lot of the coaches have looked at. If you look at the stats last year, some of the teams that are really strong out of the centre square, will they have a big advantage? And where were you ranked last year, your team, and you know, your main 4 midfielders? How do you go?
No, our centre bounce were pretty disappointing last year, Biggs. You know, obviously, I guess it starts with me. I certainly didn't have my best year last year, so I guess you can call it a bit of an audit. I guess we've gone through and we've almost dissected every game, every stoppage to change a few things. You know, without giving too much away, I think there's a few things I can do to make it easier for our midfielders to put them in, I guess, better positions to compete. I think at times last year, you know, whether it's a 1v2 situation, you're not going to win that. So I've really enjoyed the challenge, and Scott Camperelli's taken a bit more on board because of Doc Clark's obviously mixed up with AFLW. So I'm really excited by the changes and really looking forward to it.
Well, I think it's an interesting one as well, because someone like Robbie Gray at Port Adelaide, we know he's most likely going to spend most of his time in the forward half, but he is such an electric player in the centre square. He could almost be a specialist player where he goes in there for the centre clearance and then drifts forward, because his hands, his ability to balk, the way he finds the ball, I think he could be an absolute weapon in there if it comes to pass that the centre bounce clearance becomes as important as what it looks.
Yeah, and Porter, you know, they've gone out and they've targeted Scott Lycett. So you look at a Ryder-Lycett combination and it's going to be really damaging. Now, I don't know how long Ollie's out for or whatnot, but if you're looking down the ground, you got six lots of 1v1, you'd probably take Robbie Gray down there one-on-one as well, and he's a guy who can isolate because he is good above his head. So the ball's going to move really quickly out there, and I guess Robbie's a player you'd probably rather have a couple of.
Yeah, absolutely right.
Great to have Sam Jacobs in commentary with us for this first half. And just a reminder for the Port fans, I'm sure you're enjoying Sauce because he's doing a brilliant job. Very natural to it, actually, Sauce. I think there's a job for you once you retire.
Yeah, it'd be nice. We only hope for a little while longer yet, but just try to stay supporting both teams here. Stay neutral at times.
And we've got Hamish Hartlett coming in for the second half, newly appointed vice-captain, of course, boys, during the week. So fantastic for him, and a fair bit of conjecture about that announcement, but looking forward to having Hammer involved. And he's on the comeback trail too. Bigson will be a really important player for Port Adelaide this season.
Just looking at the midfielders for Port Adelaide, so we talked about the importance of the centre square. Of course, Billy Frampton gets an opportunity to further his craft in ruck, but it's 3 relative youngsters in there. You've got Zach Butters, you've got Willem Drew, and also Ryan Burton, who started and is still continuing to be in the midfield. So 3 new faces in there that Port Adelaide fans wouldn't have seen all that often start off their match in the centre square.
Yeah, we saw a little bit of Frampton late last year, and it was actually pretty exciting. Remember, he took those few contested marks and all that. I can't remember which game it was. I think it was a Friday.
Essendon, I think.
Yeah, the Friday night game against Essendon. So he's a player who's done his time in the SANFL. I've seen him play there a bit for the Maggies, and he covers the ground really well, and you know, he's certainly going to put a lot of pressure on, you know, Dixon, Ryder, Lysette, Marshall, all these guys to put his name up.
And for the Crows, we've got Wilson in the midfield, also Brad Crouch and Paholke, along with the ruckman Riley O'Brien. So we'll see how it unfolds. First bounce for the second quarter. It's the Power leading by 11 points. O'Brien over the top there, just getting hands to it. Crouch going to ground, had his head over the football and wins the free kick. Gets to his feet quickly and lovely penetrating kick up inside 50. Ball off hands. Able to take it there. Crashing through there was Davis. Again, burrows in, puts his head over the football. Whistle there from the umpire, and we'll get a ball up about 50 out from goal. So Benny Davis, 21-year-old from New South Wales. Good to see him in the side here today. Here's Wilson. He managed the one game last year. Left foot shot at goal, just away to the left.
So another little change here, Rennie, is a player like Dougal Howard has to get behind the goal line before he can receive the ball who's going to give him out of the bag. Okay. So he has to be fully behind the line before he can get it that way. They can't just flick it in and go, which Matty Broadbent's done well here. So
Broadbent there just running a good 15 metres, and a penetrating kick like him, you can see where he can get the ball to. The Crows have won the free kick. And it's going to be Scholl with it. His father played at Carlton.
Yep.
And his dad's cousins played at North Melbourne and Geelong. 400 games between them.
Premiership player at the Kangaroos, Craig Scholl.
Very good player. How's the right foot banana there? Check side, whatever you want to call it. Shane McAdam. That's the bit of class. Outstanding from him. His second goal on the margin, back to 5 points.
Well,
4 points.
It was interesting. In the first quarter, he had a shot much easier than that, where he was probably only on a 45-degree angle. And he tried the check side, and he caught the fat side of the ball and went out of bounds. That one there, under much more pressure, probably a bit further out, caught it absolutely perfectly there. And I think that's what most people were thinking when they thought Shane McAdam, X-factor, he's able to do some of those freakish things. So that's a good sign.
It's a skillful act to be able to banana it through, but at the same time, if you're a skillful player, you should be able to kick on your left foot, shouldn't you, Biggs?
That was never my strength. Talking to the wrong bloke. It has been I think someone like Chad Corns really started sort of that.
Yeah.
It's kicking the check at the check side instead of the left foot, and it's sort of certainly come a long way since then.
From Claremont in WA, Shane McAdam, initially pre-selected by Carlton, but of course has ended up at Adelaide. Good work. I've enjoyed the work of Paholke, boys. It's been good, goes inside 50. Strong fist there from Hewitt over the top. Davis, hands and knee stuff. Ball spills out. Great little shove off. Darcy Fogarty to Crouch, who also gives a bit of a don't argue. High up and under kick. This one will take some courage. Hewitt fists it away and the ball goes out of play.
Darcy Fogarty, it's an interesting one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because he loves the physicality, but it's sometimes, I thought last year, he went looking for it too much. What do you think?
Yeah, I think he's just got to find that balance. He's such a powerful player, and I think at times you can overcoach these type of players, Bix. I think you just got to almost let him play because his game is naturally up at the ball and all that. So it's going to be a balancing act for Fog, but he's got all the tools and he works hard, so he'll make it. Crouch
to O'Brien. Might have been smothered by his own teammate there. Now Paholke trying to bash and crash his way through. There is no way through, and we'll get another ball
Might
up.
have been a bit flat with that Riley O'Brien. It was Patrick Wilson smothered the ball. It's gone for goal.
Here he is again, involved with Frampton. Ball comes out the bat. Nicely done by Amon, who himself is looking for a big year. Just outside defensive 50, but a nice pick up there from Knight. Kick in board. Got on the bounce. Umpire said play on. Strong tackle there. And that was coming in the form of Cox. And we'll get a ball up. Centre wing, broadcast side. Power by 4 points. Wilson to Murphy.
He's been playing in front, Murphy, all day. He's got probably taken 3 or 4 marks just from playing in front, which has been good.
And that goal a game as a small forward is so important. If you can get it up to 1.5, it'd make it even better. The kick is outstanding, and an uncontested mark in the end from Jordan Gallucci, about 45 metres out.
Had the glasses on. It was Ben Davis who was up there, who was leading, and both of the power defenders were watching him closely, thinking the long ball was going to come in and he was going to be the target. In the end, Gallucci, the kick was a bit further out in front, and he marked on his chest.
Made his debut with Hugh Greenwood in that match against Brisbane in 2017, and showed a bit last year. 16 games, 17 goals. He's got some polish.
He'd be the most powerful player we have in the gym as well. If you think the Australia Warrior Ninja, you probably watch a bit of that, Bix, but Gooch could be on that show one day, no worries.
Ninja Warrior?
Just a strong chest?
Yeah, just everything, just powerful through his legs, like he squats
vertical jump.
Yeah, really high, so yeah, he'd be really good for us.
Broadbent again going long, so Port trying to exploit that rule, if you like, where you can just play on from the kick out, but Scholl wins it back, gives it to Keith, who goes long. Big pack forming there, then a strong tackle.
I think it was a dangerous tackle. It slung him into the ground, didn't even have the ball. I think that was what the umpire said, so Port Adelaide move it through.
Frederick with the free kick, and here is Scholl again, getting the handball out. Might get a free kick. That's going to go Port's way, aim on. So a chance for Port to go forward. They haven't done that early in this second quarter. Farrell on the left boot, penetrating kick, and a lovely mark. Protected the space really, really nicely there, Tobin Cox. And he'll line up from about 15 metres out on a 45-degree angle.
Yeah, once again, quick ball movement, transfer of play. They go down there. And when you got one-on-one with space, and as you said, Rennie used his body well, protected the drop zone, and then just fell back onto the footy. What is he, 45-degree angle, probably about 15 to 20 metres out.
Once again, I guess my boys, Crows, they've had all the play in the forward half, but Port have been able to go from end to end to have a shot on goal here, which he's just snuck it in.
Yeah, it only just got in there, but that's all it needs to do. And a nice finish there, and good transition play, you're right, Sauce. They worked it nicely, and the kick from Amon set them up. So Port have that lead back out to 9 points. 6 minutes to go on second term.
Interesting to see the kick-outs. Port Adelaide a couple of times they've tried to let I'm just trying to think. Matty Broadbent
yep.
Tried to shepherd the man on the mark, let him run 15 or 20 metres and then kick it. And they've got it just in front of the centre square both times, but it can become predictable. It's like when you have a strong breeze and you kick it long all the time. Adelaide have been expecting that a couple of times, so we'll see what happens next time.
Yeah, we've had the conversations around that. It's all well and good to attack the middle, but on the other side of that, it's an aggressive play, so you can get transition back the other way pretty quickly, which we saw Keith was able to do then from the kick out.
Hope you're enjoying the coverage, streaming right around Australia, or indeed the world. Into the second term here, we've gone nearly 7 minutes. It's the Power leading by 9 points. Under 23 trial match between these two sides, and then we've got the JLT next week at Port Pirie, Sauce.
Yeah, looking forward to getting back out the rural South Australia, Bix, and you probably don't mind that country up there, do you?
Oh, my hometown. I sit down there.
Good work there by Dersma, just getting it out. Now it spills out to Cox, who kicked the last goal. Crouch just starting to get involved now, getting a bit more of the football. O'Brien, not his best handball, but they keep it going forward. Momentum here, Adelaide, and now held up. Nicely done. Dersma again. Long, and a strong mark
Jordan
taken.
Butts. Jordan Butts from Shepparton.
A nickname?
Seymour.
I like it.
We've got a Seymour playing for us.
Pierce Seymour.
That was a joke in our internal that they had on their team. Seymour Butts.
And here is Keith, who's been solid today. He goes long, up the line, just forward of centre wing, and the mark taken, though, by Frampton. Just the one game last year, and as Sauce pointed out, he did okay, kicked a goal. Had 15 touches, 5 marks as well against the Bombers. He comes across to Broadbent.
Fantastic to see Brogsy back playing.
Yeah.
He's obviously one of my Eagles boys who I played a little bit with back in the day, so had a bad run with injury, but good to see him back.
Just a lovely human being as well. As a great hand pass there from Burn Jones. Sets up Amon, and a nice kick inside 50. And again, Port Adelaide just with that transition doing it a little bit better, and they'll have a shot at goal here from about 45 metres out, and it's going to be Cox again.
Yeah, hard to stop that one if you're a defender. Really nice play. Carl Amon, that's one of the things he's very good at, is running and carrying and be able to deliver. When he's got time and space like he had there, you'd love to be a forward leading to him.
So Cox for his second goal of the afternoon, hoping to add to his tally.
Oh, he's gone short.
Oh, boy.
And that didn't quite work out from the boy from Glenelg. He had the right idea, but unfortunately the execution not quite matching. And now the Crows, we'll see what they can do on the transition here. They work it out towards defensive 50. It's pretty nicely done. Most of the play has been on this broadcast side of the ground, and it looks like again they're going to try and come to the fat side. Kick across to Seymour. This is Pierce, Seymour. He's got the option short if he wants it, but wants to go back. So patient play here from Adelaide. Just waiting for the best option. Keith. Nice little kick over the top. Now inboard to Paholke. He's been one of the busier players on the ground in this first half. Plenty of touches. So too this man, Murphy. Just goes and gives the dummy. He's a busy player, Murphy. That's a nice kick too. And the big fella. Does look like he's put a kilo or two on, doesn't it? Sauce, he looking impressive there. They go long now inside 50. O'Brien!
Good grab.
Fantastic mark from Riley O'Brien. He'll line up from 30 metres out on a slight angle, and now it's all about the finish.
Just watching down there again, I had the glasses on the Crows forward line. The big fella, Paul Hunter, is opposed to Matty Broadbent, and so he was moving around, and Hunter's close to 200 centimetres, and of course Riley O'Brien over 200 centimetres. Just a little bit short down back at the minute, Port.
Marks the ball really well, Big Riley. He's done a good job, and hopefully he can go back and convert, which he has. So fantastic mark forward, and it's going to be really important to be able to do that this year and ask questions of the defence.
That's an interesting, when he kicked that then, the goal umpire hardly moved. That's been the one big knock on him. When he arrived, he really did struggle with his kicking. You know, you have been described as a tall midfielder as a ruckman, and we see Gawn and many other Grundy who really use the ball well. Is it up to AFL standard for a ruckman, for the big man?
Yeah, ultimately it's definitely improved, but do we know if it's going to hold up? We probably don't know until he plays, but one thing, he's got a great attitude, Riley, and I've really enjoyed working with him just because he soaks everything in. He wants to get better, and you know, he's another guy who, you know, I'm really confident he's going to take the mantle at some stage. And
yes.
His kicking's obviously improved, which you saw there, Bix, from the first shot of goal he had in his first JLT game in Port Lincoln.
Still only 23 years of age, so he's got a long way ahead of him, and we know ruckmen usually take a little bit longer to develop, so a good grab there, and you're right. I remember calling a trial game and his kicking was not great, but that was absolutely no problems there. Bix, you called it beautifully. Did not move the goal umpire, and the margin back to 3 points. Here they go again, Adelaide, up the line. And the mark taken. Burne-Jones coming in late. Wanted to get a piece of Jones there, but he'd taken the mark. Now he goes underground. McHenry, aim on though, intercepts. Goes long up towards attacking 50. Ball over the back. Adelaide have got the numbers here. Duday comes back inboard to Keith. Just took his time, but that's okay. Kept on running. And now Wilson goes towards the outer side, and Stengel takes the mark on his chest. So the former Richmond small forward comes back inboard to Gallucci. Into Murphy. Seeing
Adelaide really happy to possess the ball. You mentioned that Port Adelaide. Port Adelaide have wanted to move it down the ground a lot quicker. Adelaide are happy to go side to side, come back again. So a couple of contrasting styles we've seen already in just under a half a footy.
I think ideally we want to get the ball moving a bit quick, but Port seem to be set up pretty well here. As you can see, you sort of got Howard just controlling the back of the bubble, if you want to call it that, and they're set up really well behind, so puts a bit of pressure on the kicks here though, as they're set up so well.
And a nice mark taken there from Butts. So just getting a couple of touches in this second quarter. Inboard to Gallucci, who's also been busier. Paholke. Umpire said no nudge in the back. Hewitt wins possession. Howard, nicely done. And they can go here, Port. Burton over the top. Does it well. Kicking board. Nice. Hewitt just forward of centre wing. Goes long. Up inside 50. Marshall. Couldn't take the mark. Well done by Keith. That was really good. Gave off the hands, and now the kick towards Seymour. Just away from him and out of bounds. We'll get a throw in on the 50.
I reckon that's one of the exciting things about today. You sort of see a glimpse of the future. You know, Keith versus Marshall. You got Frampton versus O'Brien. You know, these type of guys. Howard versus Fogarty. We're going to see him in showdowns going forward for a long time.
We've just ticked over the halfway mark of this second term. 25-minute quarters we're playing. 25 minutes flat in this under-23 trial match. Riley Knight now, just losing balance. Gives off the handball to Butts, who kept it in. Did well. Seymour in there. He's beset upon and trying to get the ball out of play. He does so. And we'll get another throw in about 45 metres out. You're right, though, Sauce. People just want to see a glimpse, a couple of youngsters, a flash of brilliance.
Yeah.
Just to whet the appetite. And I'm sure that's what the coaches want too. Which players are going to put their hand up to say, pick me for JLT1 next week? Umpire's picked out a free kick here.
Ruck infringement. Do you often look at the umpire and say, not know which way it's going to go?
So I don't mind just run back, Bix, as if it's yours. Just try and coax them into thinking it is yours.
And a bad kick there. And there is young Duursma, and giving it off to Johnson. How was the kick? Outstanding. And now around the body, Hayden Johnson. It's swinging too far. Through for one behind. But boys, I think we are all enjoying the work of young Dersma at the moment, playing very nicely.
No doubt about it. Finds the footy, got some aggression about him. Butters is a bit the same. There's a play about a couple of minutes ago where Butters took it and just did a really dinky little kick inside. It was just really confident for a bloke in his first year.
Set up Hewitt, didn't he? That was nicely done. The margin, 4 points in favour of Port at the moment. Plenty to like, though, from both sides. Amon going after the footy. Very tight there. Number of bodies around this football. Squeezes out. Fogarty. Big body does well. Gets it away. Now the handball comes to Wilson. On the left. Nice kick. Sets up Ben Davis. Gives it off. That was well done. Gallucci. Long kick towards goal. And a great mark taken by Stengel. Running back with a fly to the footy. And he should be able to open up the angle and put the Crows back in front, but really nice play there from Adelaide.
Yeah, I think it was Matty Wright who entered the kick in, and it's just a big long chain as Stengel runs around.
And pops it through, and the Crows are back in front.
Yeah, you'd think for small forwards these days, Sauce, that's bread and butter, even for big blokes like you. But so that'll give him a bit of confidence. He's been quite clever at times in that one there, used his body, was able to protect that space over the back and dive back to market.
And that's going to be another change you'll see this year. So Tice, actually, you can have the open palm in someone's back now. So as long as you're not having two actions where you're pushing them, you can sort of rest your hands there, which is a bit of a change just from elbow in the pass. So, you know, you think more of the key forwards are the ones who are going to do it, but like you said, small forward, Eddie's a fantastic contested mark. It plays a big part in the games.
So just having a look at the replay there, you can see Stengel using that 10 metres that players are allowed now. And so skillful these days. Most of the players bread and butter from that range. And no problems for Stengel, who has his first, and importantly for Adelaide, puts them back in front by a couple of points. Second quarter action, warm afternoon here. There's Crouch involved to Scholl, to Knight. Up towards attacking 50. Hunter, Drew going after it. He's kicked a couple of goals today. Crows have won it back. They did it well. Handball goes off. Here is Matty Wright. Has a shot at goal, and it'll be paid advantage. Another one for Adelaide. And a man who's come back after a few seasons with the Blues has got his first.
Would love to get an ID check on him, wouldn't we, Biggs? Matty Wright, I don't think he's quite fits the under 23 mould.
Well, yeah, there's a few ring-ins in there for both sides, but look, he was the leading goal kicker for Carlton just a number of years back. I'm not sure it was a huge number, but he does know where the goals are. Tell us about his role. He's going to play in the sample and basically almost he's going to be a development coach at the same time. Yeah. So I think, especially at training at the moment, he sort of comes in and out of drills a little bit. So as I said, he's heading up our goal kicking program. So he'll work alongside Jason Porpleasure, and I've actually spent a fair bit of time with Roddy. He tends to do his running with me, so he's been good for me as well. He's a high quality character and a really good footballer in his own right.
And 65 games with Carlton, 73 goals after 94 with Adelaide before that. And some really good work in the centre square there, boys, from Butters. Nice stuff, sets up the clearance inside 50, but now the Crows win back possession through Wilson to Crouch, and then they come out, but a bit of fumbling stuff going on at the moment. Good contest there between Gray and Wilson. Ball locked in, and we'll have a ball up about 55, 60 metres around from the Powers goal.
Brett Crouch starting to find his rhythm. He's really accumulating some possessions at the moment.
So another stoppage. And he goes away again here. As you said, Big starting to find his way. Ball up inside, attacking 50 for the Crows. A free kick. It's going the way of Garner. Good name too.
Nice kick.
Joel Garner, and a lovely kick. And that's Pat Moore, who did some nice things, Biggs, in that first quarter.
No doubt about it. He's led up really nicely. He's playing as that high half forward.
Great hands there by Rosie, and the quick give to Pudney. They look to go here. Butters, he can get away. Great tackle, McAdam. Exceptional stuff. That will please Heath Uni and Don Pike, who's, of course, here today. Uni is taking the reins, though, as the coach. Now Fogarty. This is good by the Crows. Needs to sit for Murphy. Can he get it on the left shoe? Snap around the body. Just misses to the near side. Through for one behind. But a nice little run of play here for Adelaide at the moment.
Oh, the pressure, though, from McAdam, that'll please the coaches, as you said, because we know Zach Butters is slippery. He's got some real speed, so to run him down from behind was very good work.
And as you mentioned, Biggs, with Brad Crouch, it's exciting to have him back. Like, to think him and Bryce Gibbs and Brad Crouch haven't even had a game together at the moment. So we're really excited about what they can do and everyone in the centre square.
Crows by 9 points. Just piling on the pressure at the moment. Ball inside 50. And another good mark to Davis. Might be a free kick instead. McAdam. Poor Benny Davis takes a nice grab and then has to give it away, but I'm sure he'll be happy to give it to his teammate.
Well, one of the things about McAdam is he's got the X factor, and in a lot of ways, Mitch McGovern had that X factor, could take a contested mark. He had speed to try and pressure the opposition. So potentially, if it all does go right, there is a spot for him.
Absolutely, and you know, we lose Gov, but then it gives someone like Fogg the opportunity to take his spot. Plus, we get Shane on top of that. So we're well positioned. We're very confident. We've got a lot of depth going into the season.
And he's got a nice kick too. We've seen that a few times today. He's all of a sudden got 3, I reckon, boys.
3.
So the Crows just extend that lead after Port Adelaide led by 11 points at quarter time. Adelaide, deep into this second term, now lead by 15.
Yeah, just a bit of quick ball movement again. It was a quick kick forward and, yeah, just moved out of the way. Not a whole lot in it. Ben Davis took the mark anyway. McAdam says, thanks, Benny, I'll take that. And went back. Like I say, nice, compact kicking action. He's put 3 through today.
Nice to see an Indigenous lad in the number 23 again. Obviously, it was an empty locker last year next to me and Andy Otten. So Shane slotted in there nicely, and hopefully he can be as good as Bunch.
And, of course, Jared Petrenko.
Yep, he wore it as well.
Charlie Cameron.
Charlie Cameron as well. So a little bit of history there in the Guernsey.
Yeah, what a number it's been. 23, 32 is another big number at the footy club. 24, of course.
24, absolutely. Me and Birdman. Clay Sampson, premiership player.
Yes, yep.
We can go all day, can't we, Bix?
26 has been all right too, Bix.
A bit self-indulgent here. Let's get back to the footy.
Short kick here to Drew. So Port just want to respond here. They like a late one. Drew kicked a couple of goals. Nice penetrating kick up inside 50. Over the back. Gray's in there. Seymour for the Crows. Nice tackle laid there by Scholl. Ball spits out up against the boundary line. Dersma, handball over the top. Butters tried something, maybe 1 in 1,000 you might get.
Is that the personality coming out there, Vix?
no doubt. And it's interesting, isn't it? I love people that have a crack at different things. And the whistler gone, it's a free kick to Port Adelaide, but it just shows he's doesn't mind having a crack and worried about what people say if it doesn't come off.
And it looks like young Dersma out there, I think, boys. Hard up against the boundary line. Difficult kick from there. Is he going to have a shot or try and centre it? He has a ping at the goals and just didn't get it right, and he's out of bounds on the full.
Yeah, he went for the drop punt. He was outside of the field of play, so we're pretty confident he could get straight, but sure that wasn't the plan to get out on the full.
15 points the margin. Strong kick outside defensive 50. Frederick trying to lay the tackle. The Crows away. He threw O'Brien. Now working it through the middle of the ground. Davis up inside 50. Oh, Stengel kept his feet. His opponent Frampton didn't. He runs into the open goal and he finishes. He's got 2. And the Crows are careering away at the moment, out to a 21-point lead. That's their 9th goal of the match.
Yeah, Adelaide's transition, I reckon the last 3 or 4 goals, apart from the free kick to McAdam, has been from half back, and it's been chains of handballs, quick movement. That one there, a little bit fortunate. Billy Frampton was up against Tyson Stengel. Anything in the air you'd think Frampton would have been able to control, but he lost his footing, and Stengel was able to take the mark and just waltz right in. But impressive, the chains that have started at half back and ended up in scores.
You can see the impact the one-on-one contests have as well ahead of the ball. You know, we're seeing Stengel versus Frampton on this occasion, but it puts a lot of pressure on the defender, and as you can see, we've got 15 goals on the board almost at half-time, so it seems to be a lot more open, a lot more transition sort of goals.
And it's been a match of runs so far, hasn't it? The Crows with the opening 3 goals, then Port with the next 5, and Adelaide now on a run of 4 consecutive goals, so can Port pinch one back late? Frampton to Drew, ball off hand, Scholl to Crouch, now Hamill, wheels around on the left, nice kick too. They play on. They want another one here, Adelaide. Inboard to Scholl. Pudney can't quite get there in time. He gets it on to Gallucci. And they can go inside 50 here, Adelaide. Nice kick. Good mark taken there by Murphy, who lowers the eyes. And goes up for Davis, who couldn't quite get there. McAdam is the man, actually. Now the ball out towards Farrell. And he's just upended there by Keith. Ball off hands.
Free kick was really high contact. I think it was Kane Farrell. Gallucci had his head down over the ball. Farrell met him front on. No ill intent to that, but it was too high.
So about 30 seconds left, 25-minute quarters. And good mark taken there by Davis. Comes in board. Nicely done. Baholke Couple of kicks from home. Looking for the options. Goes short. That's okay. Finds Riley Knight, who goes short himself. And Davis continuing to work hard. He'd take his best effort from here.
Might be after the siren.
10 seconds left. Get it in, because we've got the big boys, O'Brien, Strawn, and these types down there that are marking the ball really well today.
Come on, Sauce. How well do you know your teammates? Has he got the journey?
I don't think he'll quite have it, Bix. A little bit into a breeze. I think it'll probably go right to left.
Well, we had a goal after the siren in the first quarter, and we might get another one in the second, right to the goal line. Sauce, you called it magnificently. But the Crows, a really nice quarter from them. They booted 6 goals in that term, the Power with just the 1. So at halftime, it's Adelaide by 21 points, and Sauce, a lot to like there in that second term. Yeah,
it is. I didn't think we did too much wrong in the first quarter. I thought we were able to transition pretty well, but obviously Port did it better sort of the back half of the first, and I thought in the second, there we go, 6 goals 3 to 1 goal 1. We pretty much controlled the game from the outset, and as you mentioned, the first Bix, it starts with the contest and transition comes second, so thought around the ball, we're able to win it and get the ball going our way.
Well, Sauce, fantastic to have you in commentary today.
Worries,
Thanks
boys.
so much for your time, and good luck next week. I'm sure we'll see you in action.
Thanks very much. It's great the footy season's back, and now we're starting to talk real stuff other than training.
Absolutely. Sam Jacobs joining us in commentary. We're going to take a short break. We'll be out for about 10 or 15 minutes during the halftime break, but when we come back, the second half action, and Hamish Hartlett from Port Adelaide will join us for the second half. But at halftime here at Thebarton Oval, it is the Crows leading by 21 points.